Kev Edwards Sim Rally here. Today I just want to jump on the Dirt Rally 2 hype train a little bit. I told myself I wasn't going to get too excited about this game, being what Dirt 4 ended up being. And I just thought that I'd try and sort of just see what they release and just hope that it's going to be decent. But the more I hear from Codemasters, the more I am starting to get excited about it. Especially with the arrival of the El Conde stage in Argentina, which is going to be absolutely terrifying. I've got a little bit of onboard footage from Hayden Paddon a couple of years ago going through it, and as you'll be able to see, it's tight, twisty, there's rocks either side, there's tight little bridges that you've got to get across. It's going to be a task to get through clean. The other thing I've noticed as well is that they keep on sort of trying to say how they're not afraid to make a difficult rally game. Because I think they've took quite a bit of slack after day 4. People saying that they didn't have the balls to do an actual rally sim. It's always going to border more on arcade. Even Dirt Rally, to an extent, is as good as it was. It's still not the most punishing when it comes to like damage, or there's no tyre models or anything like that, although it was quite difficult to master. Once you master it, it's fairly easier anyway. The other thing they've been slated for in the past is not giving DLC out, so they'll release a game, might do 1 or 2 patches and then just walk away from it. I think they've done that with Dirt 4 because the response to the game wasn't great, and I think they realised that quite soon. Probably decided, rather than waste any time on it, to just walk away and start building something else. Maybe they concentrated on the Formula 1 games, or maybe they've been working on 2.0 for a lot longer behind the scenes. The other positives that we're getting back as well is, like I say, the tyre model and the stage degradation that's going to be awesome if they implement that right. That's something rally games have always been missing. It's a real part of rally. When the WRC, where you are in the stage is always a big part of how much advantage you get or disadvantage, and the mind games of whenever to go in and win a rally, and do you want to start the next event first on the stage? Similar to how we've just got with Spain. Thierry Neuville losing the lead for the championship going into Australia into the last round, but because of that he's going to be second on the road, so we'll actually have an advantage over OJ. So it makes the end of the championship really interesting and just spices everything up a little bit as well. So it's great that we finally get to see that as part of a game, so we can kind of judge that ourselves if we're in championships. I just hope that it moves over to the multiplayer, so the leagues or the club sessions, whatever they were called, and therefore if that is implemented into the actual like seasons that people run, like the multiplayer seasons, that's going to be fantastic, and it's going to really add another aspect to how you compete and team tactics and stuff like that. Same again with the tyre models. If the tyre models are done right, and it's not just going to be fastest wins all the time. Hopefully, if they do it right, it'll be, if you're just belting every stage and you're wearing the tyres out, sooner or later that's going to catch up with you. So you've got to find the balance of being fast but also managing your tyres at the same time. So that's going to be really interesting to see how it's implemented, and hopefully, as I say, it'll be implemented online as well, because that's where most of the competition is. Career modes are good to get used to the game, but they're not great for longevity, if you ask me. If you get on Facebook and you join the leagues and you're getting involved with real people, it makes the game last so much longer, and it just adds a completely different aspect to it. So with the DLC, they're saying that they've got 6 months planned content. So they know what they're going to do for the first 6 months. So I imagine that's going to be hopefully extra locations, extra cars, all that type of stuff. And then 6 months after that isn't planned to go in there. I think it's going to go on community feedback. So whatever the community asks for in that first 6 months will hopefully be implemented in the second half of the DLC, which is a really good way to go as well. So it means we've kind of got some sort of control of how the game goes. Which again, it's nice that Codemasters are listening to what the community have been saying over the years, and they've obviously listened to the disappointment of Dirt 4, and really, they seem to me they really want to prove that they are capable and they have got the bottle to make a simulation rally game, rather than just like a sort of toe in your water, dipping a toe in the water type game that Dirt 4 was, and arguably even Dirt Rally. Now with the stage degradation, I've got a theory that it's going to be 3 different types of stages. So I don't think it'll be like consistent degradation all the way through with sort of each card and each position. I think there'll just basically be 3 types of stages. You'll have your fresh stage, which will have all the loose gravel on top, which is going to be obviously slippy for the road sweeping. The second stage will be the most optimal, so you'll have the most grip. So that's, I think they said first to third, first, second, third was slippy, and then third, fourth, fifth was it maybe was like that sort of optimal, and then anything after that, the stage is going to be all rutted and there's going to be more sort of debris in the road. And that's another thing I want to touch on with Argentina as well. There's lots of rocks in Argentina, especially like El Condor, where the stage is going to be located. Hopefully we can see some of that implemented into the stage degradation as well. You know, more chances of punches and just more debris in the road that could potentially damage your car and make it a lot more tricky to get through. The multiplayer as well, they've said that they're going to have, it's going to be an 8-player multiplayer where you can do rallies, rallycross, or a mixture of both. They did have that in Dirt 4, but it's, with Dirt 4 being the way it was, never really seemed to be populated. You might get 3 or 4 servers when you go online. There's still a couple now if you go on, but they are actually great fun if you get a decent number of players involved in it. So you can do your normal rally stages, and obviously competing. I'm not sure if they had ghost cars on it though. I don't think they did, but I always turn the ghost cars off anyway because they just put me off. So that doesn't really affect me, but I know people like to see the ghosts of the other cars. So it'll be interesting to see if they've got ghosts in this or not. Obviously, the big one is VR. VR, I'll be very surprised if they have it on release. I suspect they're going to do similar with what they've done with Dirt 4. I think if Dirt 4 took off more and there was more push behind it, they probably would have implemented it at some point. And I imagine it'll be the same with 2.0. They'll just check, they'll just make sure that they've got the right feedback and the right community support and people are on board with it. And if it is a success, then they'll probably get the VR. It could be another 6 months down the line. No, I imagine that might be part of the second lot of DLC that they bring out. It's a silly decision in my eyes. I just can't believe they're not jumping on board. I've got VR, I don't really use it. I'm not a big fan of it myself. The novelty wore off quite quick, but it is the future of racing. Every other game that you every other game that is getting released now, the likes of Project Cars and like Assetto Corsa, Comfort Zone and all them, they've all got VR in it, because it's proven that it's a technology for the future, and there's so many sim racers now that just won't touch a game that doesn't have it. That if you really want to be taken seriously as a sim game, if you like, you need to be implementing VR on release. Codemasters just seem to be a little bit slow jumping on that bandwagon, and I think I read somewhere that the VR wouldn't be coming for Formula 1 2018, which again is just a silly decision. I don't get it. They must be sick of just reading VR no buy on every post that they put out on like Twitter or Facebook or YouTube, whatever. Surely a lightning bolt's got to strike somewhere, and someone's got to go, yeah, we need to just start doing this from day one. This just needs to be part of building a game from scratch, because they're just alienating so many people, and so many people just won't take the game serious from the start unless there's VR involved in it. So yeah, hopefully they'll realise, and I don't know, whenever they just haven't got the capabilities, but they must do, because they've done it for Dirt Rally, and Dirt Rally VR was fun to play, although I kinda felt that it took a little bit of depth out the game with the handling. But I think I'm the minority with that. Not many people agree with me. But when I play Dirt Rally in VR, something is missing with me. Something with the handling or physics just doesn't seem quite right. It seems like it's kind of softened down, and I seem to get away with a lot more in VR than I would do just looking on a 2D screen. Like there's places where I know I should crash and I don't. I just seem to get away with it. I don't know, it's hard to explain. But anyway, that's just my thoughts on it. But VR as a whole, it should be implemented from day one. The other thing, I think people are expecting it to be like a direct sequel to Dirt Rally and be like on the same Dirt Rally engine, Dirt Rally physics, are going to be disappointed. This will be built on Dirt 4, what we've got now with Dirt 4, hopefully, but much more improved. Dirt Rally was an old engine, and they said while they were doing Dirt Rally that they wasn't happy with how much they could push it, so they couldn't quite get the length of stages that they wanted, and couldn't quite do with the physics what they wanted, and stuff like that. So Dirt 4's engine is going to be the engine that they're going to be using. So the game itself will probably look very familiar to Dirt 4. To Dirt 4. Straight away, the New Zealand stage that they've showcased looked very similar to the Australia stages on Dirt 4. Seem to be the same type of furniture and debris, and it just looks very similar. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, because some of Dirt 4 looked absolutely brilliant, especially like the wet stages, the wet gravel and the puddles and stuff. It was done fantastic. And when you go back and play Dirt 4 now, if you do get your settings right and you get the car to handle fairly decent, it's actually not as bad as what it was originally made out to be. I've gone back and played it recently for the championship that I'm in, and my initial thoughts when I first turned it on is, how did they miss the ball so much with Dirt Rally? How is this so poor? What went wrong? But the more I've played it, the more I've started to adapt to it, and I've just found I think the big thing with Dirt 4 is how sensitive your brakes are. As soon as you put your foot on your brake, the car wants to spin round and lose control. If you go back and give it another go, turn your brake sensitivity far down, and have a little play around with your pedal saturation as well, so it's not so sharp and on off, and you might just find that you take a different look at it. I don't know, just give it another go, and try and bear with it, and just play around with some brake settings and just see if you can get a better feeling for it, and then you might sort of start to realise that it wasn't as bad as what we thought. Because when I'm going back and playing Day 4 now, there's actually a lot of it I would like implemented into 2.0. It wasn't a million miles off. The biggest thing for me with Day 4 was the stage generator. It just wasn't good enough, and it left no character at all with the stages. You just can't beat hand-built real life stages. They're just so much more enjoyable and playable, and much more of an authentic feel to it. Whereas going over the same corners over and over and over again in Day 4 just got so tedious, and that's probably what spoils it for me. If it had actual stages in it, we might have been able to forgive it and give it more time and sort of adjust to the physics more and enjoy the physics more. Maybe if the community kind of stuck with it, they might have been able to change things that we want to change it. But that's Day 4 is gone now. I think we all know that, and it's just a point of they need to learn from the mistakes and just make Day 2.0 the best game they can. Hopefully as well the damage model will be punishing. I hate it when you just smash into trees and your bonnet falls off and you just carry on driving. A real rally sim should be punishing as hell. You should be terrified to go off the road. You should be terrified to hit any like major objects like trees or big fences or anything. That's all part of it. It's not about just going as fast as you can and bouncing off stuff and getting a little bit of damage but being able to carry on. It needs to be punishing. And hopefully they'll have the bottle to do that. I know car manufacturers have to change shackles on them a little bit and don't like to see the cars destroyed in games, but I don't know, for me maybe that's a bit of a cop out. You just need to have a decent damage system that's punishing and really does make you scared to go off the road. So that's about it from me. That's just my thoughts, and I know there's a lot of videos out there with thoughts on what they want, and some of it will be completely different to what I want, but that's just the way it is. But this is what I hope Dirt Rally 2 will be, and why I'm optimistic about it, and I think they are going to go in the right direction and prove that they have got the bottle to do a really tough, challenging rally simulator. So thanks for joining anyway, and I'll catch you again on the next video. And don't forget to give us your thoughts in the comments as well. See if you think I'm just way off the mark, or if you want a game that's completely different to what I want. But yeah, let us know. Don't forget as well to check out John Armstrong, who's the guy who is doing all the testing for Day 4 as well. He's got a good little channel as well. If I remember, I'll link it in the description. But he plays a lot of Richard Burns Rally, as well as Dirt Rally and all the other titles as well. So, as well as being a real life rally driver and a bloody talented one at that, if you have a look at his channel as well, you'll see a lot of onboards from Germany and stuff, and the guy is giving it hell for leather. It looks like a quality talent. It's a shame he's not competing regular. But yeah, that's an also promising thing as well, that somebody like that is getting involved, an actual gamer and a rally driver as well. So yeah, don't forget, like, subscribe and comment, and thanks again for joining.